Now we'll see about half-life of a radioactive substance. What is half-life means? Within what time the total material, half of the material will be disintegrated, or the time taken for half of the given number of nuclei to disintegrate. That what we call half-life. Suppose initially n0 number is there, number of nuclei is there at time 0. After some time, that what we call half-life time, represented with capital T, number of nuclei become half of the initial n0, now it is n0 by 2. We know number of nuclei left after some time, n is equal to n0 into e power minus lambda t, and after t is equal to capital T, then after half-life what happened? This number become n0 by 2, half of the initial number. n0 by 2 is equal to n0 e power minus lambda t, and this n0 get cancelled. 1 by 2 is equal to e power minus lambda t, and 2 power minus 1 bring into numerator, we can write like this. And this we can write, to remove here exponential function, you should write other side logarithm. You see, y is equal to log x is there, and if you want x value, and send this y to exponential function. So reverse, e power x is there, then you can write as a log x. So reverse case, x equal to e power y, here 2 is equal to e power minus lambda t. If you want minus lambda t, for this you can apply log, that is minus log 2 power minus 1 is equal to minus lambda t. That time only what we call half-life, so capital T. And calculator here, capital T value minus log 2, this power minus 1 comes as a negative sign here, minus minus get cancelled. T is equal to what you get here, T equal to log 2 by lambda, where log 2 is natural logarithm. Log 2 value 2.3 into log 2 base 10. This is base e. Ln x nothing but log base e. Both are same. Ln and log base e both are same. You can convert into log base 10 also. So that value you can write 0.693 by lambda. This is a half-life formula. So other way, if you want write this log 2 in log base 10, so that is 2.3 log 2 base 10 by lambda, disintegration constant. This is about half-life of a radioactive substance. See, after how many half-lives the material, suppose initial number of nuclei present n0 become n, or mass of the material become, initial m0 is there, it become m. Suppose initially xi fraction of material is there, now final fraction is xf. How much time it is take, or after how many half-lives it happen? Initial activity is a0, after how many half-lives it become a, and the percentage, initial percentage is x0 percentage, and final percentage is x final percentage. After how many half-lives it become like this? For that we'll see, suppose you can take initially n0 number of nuclei are there. Within one half-life, what happened? The number of nuclei become n0 by 2. Suppose another half-life means n0 by 4, half of this. So another half-life means n0 by 8. Like that, finally it becomes some value n, you can think. See, after one half-life, here you get 2 power 1. 2 power 1. After two half-lives, here n0 by 4. 4 nothing but 1 by 2 power 4 you can write. And 3 half-life means 1 by 2 square. 4 2 square. And 8 2 cube. Means 1 half-life 2 power 1, 2 half-lives 2 power 2, 3 half-lives 2 power 3. So after n half-lives, what you get? 1 by 2 power n we get. So from this what you can write? You see, for example, initial number by, after 3 half-lives, what is the number? n0 by 8. 8 cancel to numerator, that is 2 power 3, n0 get cancelled. So after 3 half-lives, the fraction become 1 by 2 power 3. So we can write 2 power n is equal to initial n, and final it is n0, and final it is n. From this you can calculate how many, after how many half-lives this n0 become n. That we can calculate like this. Similar concept we can use for m naught by m initial mass by final mass, and final fraction by initial fraction, that is x final by x initial, or final percentage x final percentage by x initial percentage, or final activity by initial activity. That only we have here relation, that is after how many half-lives, 2 power n is equal to n by, that is initial number by final number, initial mass by final mass, initial fraction of nuclei present by final fraction of nuclei present, initial percentage of nuclei present by final nuclei present, initial activity by final activity, like that you can take. From this, what do you say? N half-life is over. What is the total time now? Total time is n half-life. So each half-life, how much time is there? Capital T. So after how much time that material become n naught to n and m naught to m, or x initial to x final, x initial percentage to x final percentage, after how much time it happened, like this we can write. So here from that we can write the fraction of nuclei remains after n half-lives. After n half-lives, how much fraction of nuclei remains? 1 by 2 power n. The fraction of nuclei disintegrate or decayed. How many nuclei are converted from parent to daughter nucleus? That is 1 minus the fraction of nuclei converted, 1 minus 1 by 2 power n. Like this we can write. Now about parallel disintegration. That means parent nuclei disintegrate in different ways and different paths that will be converted into different nuclei. Then that what we call parallel disintegration. That means one nuclei is converted into A, is converted into B, and simultaneously A only converted into C. What is parallel disintegration? A is converting into B, and parallelly is converting into C, parallelly converting into D. One nucleus, different independent paths. The material is converted into other material, different materials. These are called parallel disintegration. In parallel disintegration, activity is A is equal, total activity is activity of first path, activity of second, activity of third, so on, activity of AN. That is, if a nuclei is disintegrated in n different paths and different radioactivity, so then what is the total activity? A1 plus A2 plus A3, so on, AN we can write. And what is disintegration constant? Disintegration constant and disintegration constant of first path, disintegration constant of second path, third, like that we can write. So sum of all disintegration constant is equal to disintegration constant of the parallel disintegration. And we know that half-life is reciprocal. Suppose what is the relation? Half-life T half is equal to log 2 by lambda. So reciprocal relation is there. So half-life of a total material is equal to 1 by T1 and 1 by T2 plus 1 by T3, so on, 1 by Tn. In what is T1, T2, T3? T1, T2, 3 and so on, Tn are half-lives of individual decays, and different paths they are decaying. Each and every path, what is their half-lives? T1, T2, T3 are given that. And what is T? T is the half-life of the total material. Maybe it can decay in any path. Now see about average life or mean life. So it is the ratio of total lifetime of all nucleus. If you are adding total lifetime of all the nucleus to the total number of nucleus, so that what you get on average life they represent with the tau symbol. Sigma of lifespan of all individual nucleus means each and every time of each and every nucleus lifespan. Suppose for example, you can when radioactive activity starts and immediately some of the nucleus are break. What is the lifetime of those nuclei? Means 0. And after some time some nucleus are break. Some nucleus are which are having even after infinite distance, infinite time also they are not disintegrate. So some are having 0 lifetime, some are having after 1 half-life they break, and maybe 2 half-lives, 3 half-lives, maybe after infinite time also they are not disintegrate. So averagely what is the time of each and every nucleus. That is here what we are going to derive. But it is not compulsory. All the particles must have this life, that is average life only. So for that, what we are doing, suppose you can take a certain number of nuclei, dn number of nuclei have lifetime t. So other nuclei, other sample, you can take a dn, and other sample of nuclei, that is dn2 or dn3, you can take. Those are have different time, t1, t2, t3, like that. So add all the samples, time and how many particles, how many nuclei are break with this time, plus other time and how many nuclei break in that time. So add all this, that will be represented with sigma by total number of nuclei present. Then what you get, average lifetime of nuclei we get. So this integration, this sigma nothing but sum of that only in mathematically they represent with integration. And where to where it changes, some of the particle has zero life, some of the particle has infinite life. That's why it changes from 0 to infinite. So here dn we can write like this. Why? Because we have one relation, that is dn by dt is equal to lambda n. I didn't take sign here, lambda n. What is n? N is number of particles remains after some time, that is n naught into e power minus lambda t we can take. dn by dt is equal to lambda n. N is n naught into e power minus lambda t. And from this you can calculate only dn. dn you send dt that side. What you can write in place of dn, what you can write, lambda n naught e power minus lambda t dt. This dt we are sending that side, lambda n naught e power minus lambda t dt. That we can write. By n naught is there, this n naught get cancelled here. Now what you get here, you see this n naught get cancelled. Here lambda is constant, here two variables are there. One is t is a variable which is changing with respect to time, and e power minus lambda t also variable. So two variables are there. So for that, like differentiation we have uv method. Similarly for integration also we have uv method. Suppose if you are taking u into v dx, first you have to take u outside, do apply integration for v minus integration of u dash. Once the differentiation of u you have to do, and then apply integration of v dx. Again this whole thing is integrated with respect to dx. And this derivation is not there for us, and for advanced level they have this type of derivations. So directly after solving this thing, and we get finally this talk that the average life tau is equal to 1 by lambda you get. After solving all this, after applying limits 0 to infinite, we get 1 by lambda. So what do you say from this? From this relation, the average life is equal to reciprocal of decay constant we can write. The mean life of radioactive sample is equal to reciprocal of decay constant. We can write like this. Now we'll see relation between half-life and average life. Average life or mean life. Half-life formula we know, t is equal to log 2 by t. That is equation number 1. And mean life, that is tau is equal to 1 by lambda. So and take ratio of these two. So from equation 1 and 2, what you can write, tau is equal to, tau nothing but mean life or average life is equal to t by log 2. So here we can write tau is equal to t by log 2 is 0.693, and if you write this properly 1.44t. Average life is a little greater, and it is 1.4 times of so t average life is 1.44 times of half-life we get relation. This is a relation between average life and half-life. T is capital T half-life and tau is average life we can write. Now what is a relation? And relation, suppose determination of decay constant lambda and a half-life using graphical method. Suppose if you draw a graph between, and we know log n is equal to, this already we did, that log n is equal to minus lambda t plus log n naught. It is a straight line, and which is having negative slope, already we discussed. And what is the slope of the line here? Slope of the line, you see here m is slope, that is minus lambda is here slope. M is equal to minus lambda, here that is equal to tan theta, minus tan theta. Why minus tan theta? You see that here slope is actually you have to take a this side angle, this angle you have to take, but we are taking this side now. That's why instead of tan theta we have to take, that is minus tan theta we can take. From this what you get relation? Disintegration constant is equal to tan theta. Disintegration constant tan theta we get. If you know, if we have a graph between log of number of nuclei to time, then the slope of the line gives disintegration constant. Once you get lambda, use this formula. T is equal to log 2 by lambda. Lambda, in place of lambda, take this value, that is log 2 by tan theta. So what you can write here, T half-life is equal to log 2 tan theta sine to numerator cot theta. So we get relation between disintegration constant and the slope of the line. We get relation between half-life and slope of the line. Actually reverse of slope, this one. Okay. So this they're using this, they get a relation between disintegration constant and slope, and half-life and slope of the line, or angle made by the line with the x-axis.